Where do I even freaking begin right now? I think I'm experiencing my first legit bottom in sobriety and in recovery. For those of you that don't know, I am a recovering alcoholic. I try very hard to center my life around staying sober and staying emotionally sober and working a 12-step recovery program each and every day to the best of my ability, with the understanding that if I go back to drinking the way I drink and thinking the way I think when drinking, and as I'm learning even when I'm not, everything falls to pieces. Nothing really matters outside of that. None of the hopes and dreams and or the wants I have bear any weight, because I'm a hopeless alcoholic who desperately needs to be sober to be okay in this life and not to cause harm and pain to others and, of course, myself. So when I was trying to get sober, which is a perpetual cycle in my life since I was 19, it's when I first tried to get sober. And I don't just mean tried to get sober as in when I was trying to not get drunk, but I just mean like sobriety, maturity, what we might call recovery. When I was trying to get sober a year and a half ago and really struggling to do so in every sense of the word, all my focus was about getting sober. Just, God, please help me stop drinking, going to meetings, not being able to stay sober between them. Life is in full tumble as far as the things that I think we all try to hold dear: relationships, friendships, work, vocation, self-care, existence, or whatever. We try to protect these things to the best of our ability. One of the weird, and this is a strange thing to say, and I hope it makes sense, but one of the comforting things for me in my life, I think, if I had to psychoanalyze myself, which I'm prone to do, comment below if you are too, but there's this safety in the process of trying to get sober. It makes my life defined and simple. I'm a struggling alcoholic. My life's going out of control. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm having suicidal thoughts. My marriage is falling apart. My finances are falling apart. My friendships are in flux. My profession is a joke, blah, blah, blah. I just need to get sober. And so sobriety and getting sober and stopping the drinking becomes the North Star. It becomes the guiding light for me, and it gives me some purpose. If I can just stop drinking, everything will be okay. It's kind of what ends up coming over me when I'm knee-deep in active addiction and I'm getting my ass absolutely handed to me. And there's simplicity in that. And for those of you that may not know, I've been trying to figure this whole drinking thing out, so to speak, my entire adult life. And I've been in the first year of being sober many times, like many, many, many times. And so my sense of self and the identity I have and my confusion about my ego and my esteem and all of that, it's often been wrapped up in being a drinker who's trying to manage it, and trying is putting it sweetly, or a guy trying to get sober and getting through the first few months. That's been my thing. And by the way, I'm not undermining that. I'm so grateful that I've kept trying, and I'm grateful that I am still sober today, and I want to be sober. This video isn't to let you know that I'm missing alcohol or going back, but I will say that I had this idea, and I now think it was an ignorant one, not a silly one per se, but certainly an ignorant one, that a year and some weeks sober, if I had to look forward, I imagined that all of the things that were not working in my life, however that might be or might appear to me, the things that just weren't going well, the unmanageability, you would say, of my life and my behavior and all this stuff, I imagined that a year plus sober and going to 12-step meetings, having done some intentional work with therapists and just trying to grow up. It's like a life quest of just growing up, failure to thrive, it seems, or at least it's how I perceive myself. I thought a year plus in, I'd have some shit dialed. I mean dialed. I just imagined I would. Because, and this has been, no pun intended, so sobering for me, I thought alcohol was the reason for a lot more of my unmanageable behavior patterns or my unmanageable character defects. I thought alcohol was what was causing it very directly, to at least a large degree. My propensity to mismanage my finances, for example, my tendencies to embellish and exaggerate when detailing or telling a story or whatever, my problems with follow through when I agree to do something and then sort of wither and crumble under perhaps an overextended to-do list, and then I get small and I don't do enough and it is not good for my reputation. Shit like that. I thought it would be further along as far as my ability to thwart it and to avoid it by this time in sobriety. I've heard this in meetings, and this feels already good to talk about, so thank you for listening. And if any of this rings true for you, please let me know in the comments below, because it's soothing, quite frankly. I've heard in 12-step meetings, that's something I do. I go to 12-step meetings to work on myself and to protect my sobriety. I've heard people say who have many, many years sober, who I perceive to be doing really, really well. A bad habit of mine to compare the outside of you to the inside of me. Not to mention self-appraisal is not the easiest thing for me. I wonder if you feel the same. But I've heard people say, look, I'm sober, I'm grateful, but my life is still unmanageable. And I didn't really follow that. I was like, yeah, when I drank, life was unmanageable because I was drunk all the time. So I was thinking through the lens of a guy who gets drunk every single night and who's hungover every single day. Of course, I'm not emotionally stable. Of course, I'm not going to be that responsible. Of course, I'm going to cut corners. Of course, I'm going to be selfish and self-centered. Alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. But take that away, and that stuff's going to take care of itself. I used to say that maybe, and certainly thought it. As long as I get rid of the alcohol, everything's going to be okay. And to an extent, it will. To an extent, it absolutely will. The pain I'm feeling right now and the discomfort and some depressive symptoms and some apathy and some just some negative self-talk, the stuff I'm going through doesn't hold a candle to the pain I was in active drinking, but it is surprising me. What I think I'm trying to say is that I'm a year plus sober and I'm still struggling with my finances. I'm still struggling with follow-through, high-level follow-through. I'm still struggling with managing like a professionalized schedule. Maybe I'm still struggling to be the grown-up that I think a lot of my friends are able to be. I don't imagine anyone's perfect. It's nothing like that. I don't think I'm just this perpetually damaged person. But I don't understand why this keeps happening to me, so to speak. I don't get it. I other than like theorizing and trying to reflect with like my sponsor and my mom, for example, my wife, I'm like, how do I keep ending up broke? How do I keep dropping the ball, so to speak, professionally? Why do I keep lying or telling white lies or exaggerating the truth? And luckily, these are small lies or small exaggerations compared to what they used to be, but there's something still in me. Like, what am I missing? I've been, to be more specific now, because I've been speaking in veiled terms, maybe I wanted to weed out people that were just popping in for a second. So if you're still here, let's get into the specifics. I own a gym, a CrossFit gym. When I took over this gym, the gym was not doing well financially. And when I agreed to buy this gym, I really had no business doing so from the perspective of any projected foresight, any careful consideration. I just love working out and I love CrossFit, and I was clinging or looking for something to hold on to give me a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, even as I got drunk every single night, no matter what. The gym was financially failing when I took it over, and it's not doing well financially now. And I've been really, really struggling with that reality. And I thought I would have my finances more in order by now. But the truth is, I'm in the worst financial place I have ever been in my adult life, which is wild to me. I'm grateful for everything I have, to be clear. I wish I didn't feel the need to explain this, but I will, because I want you to know that I am so blessed. I'm filming on a nice camera. I'm in my home. I have electricity, I have shelter, there's food in my fridge. I have opportunities and I have hope for sure. But my bottom dollar finances are not good. My debt is getting much, much higher. My instinct to go to any length, like I see some of my friends going to financially provide, doesn't seem active enough or something. I'm as broke as I've ever been. I've got as much debt as I've ever had. And I'm feeling as anxious and having thoughts of being as underprepared to deal with this as ever before. So I think I have a weird relationship with money, and I'm trying to understand what that means and what to do about it exactly. I've been freaking out about being a YouTuber, whatever that means. I've been freaking out about being a CrossFit coach or even a gym owner. I've been kind of just freaking out. Like, okay, I'm 37 years old. I own a gym, but it's not financially doing well. I'm losing money having the gym. I love the people in my gym, and working out and coaching does come natural to me. So there's a lot of joy there. There's just not a lot of stability there. I make YouTube videos, but I'm not making any real money doing so. And I take responsibility for that too. Why not? How come some people do whatever it takes to be successful in here and I don't? I've got between my two channels, and I'm just venting, guys. I'm just venting. Between my two channels, I've got 1.75, 1.8 million subscribers. But between the two of them, for what I earn, and I don't think I've ever said this on here, so I hope it comes out in the spirit that it's intended, because this is not a woe is me. This is just me trying to figure out how to do this, all of this. Whatever, growing up and being financially stable and being a responsible, sober adult, I'm trying to figure it out. Between my two channels, even with 1.8 million followers, I'm bringing home probably $1,800 a month. Maybe a tad more or a tad less total. Between my CrossFit stuff, because the gym is going backwards financially, despite having such an amazing core group of members, but because we're not growing enough to meet our rent and things like that, and I hope it's not in poor taste to say that out loud, I effectively am just losing money for the, let's say, 25 to 30 hours a week I'm putting into the gym. So I'm suddenly struggling to pay my bills. And it makes me feel bad, and it makes me feel very insecure, because I see so many men and women too, but mostly my male friends when I compare, and I try not to do this, but when I see them, they're so financially stable compared to me. And being not financially stable, but being younger, I don't know, I could reconcile the two. Approaching 40 and having like $8,000, $9,000 in credit card debt, I owe 20 grand-ish to investors. I'm behind in rent. I pay myself a little bit for some of the raw man hours I'm coaching and training people, but it doesn't offset the debt, right? To be almost 40, to have minimal savings, to still be a YouTuber who's not making much money off YouTube, and I take responsibility for that too. I'm in a lot of self-judgment. Like, why are some YouTubers so good at this? I love making videos and talking to you guys, but I don't seem to know how or have it in me right now to be just like a video content creator professional who maximizes his platform and leverages his audience for financial success and offers value or whatever. What is this? This strange relationship I have with money, I guess. How does it connect to addiction? How does it connect to my childhood, I guess? I think I need some therapy. But it's all left me feeling very, metaphorically speaking, naked. Just like, oh God, I feel bad about myself. I don't feel good about myself. What's wrong with me that this keeps happening to me, so to speak? There will be answers. There will be solutions. I'm going to seek it. I even feel nerves saying that out loud because I'm so blessed. But I'm like a little afraid of myself when it comes to this stuff. It's like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I just want this part of adulting to be kind of sorted, I guess. So this whole thing has led me to experience a lot of negative feelings. I've been very shut down over it. I don't have much energy this last month. I've been feeling very depressed. I don't think I'm formally depressed, but I'm situationally feeling a bit depressed and anxious. My brain fog has gone up. My anxiety has increased. My sense of joy has diminished and all that. And I just want to shell up. That's kind of what my brain does. Like, oh God, I just want to run away. Or at least some instinct in me does, but it's not who I want to be. And I'm realizing that I have some deeper issues to work through, that alcohol clearly was not the only problem. It was certainly a great attempt at a solution that had no viability for the long-term, let's just say, value or use of it. But it turns out, and this is probably something a lot of you already knew, and I don't mean about me, but you just knew as an understanding in life, that strip all those things away, and I've just got some stuff to work through that I'm annoyed that I have to work through, if my intention and my hope is just to be a stable, productive, consistent member of adult society. God, there's so much more I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to end it there. I have like this whole other side story that I'd like to just talk about, what I think I understand about my parents and my childhood and my relationship with money, but I think I should save it for another video. Maybe we'll just stop there. I'm having a hard time. I'm looking for guidance and support. I'm rethinking everything. And I guess I want you to know, but I want you to also know that I don't think this is a unique situation. I know that I'm lucky and everything is going to be okay. I just don't feel very good, and I'm a bit insecure about my place in my adult life. I'm getting nervous about getting older this way as a well-meaning but struggling YouTuber, certainly financially, and as a well-meaning but struggling business owner with no degree, no discernible, marketable skills outside of unwritten and intangible things. I can make YouTube videos, for example. I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I can lead a CrossFit class. I'm a good fitness instructor. But strip everything away, and I don't exactly know where my value is from a financial stability standpoint. And it makes me really freaked out. I've been having thoughts about going back to school, for example, because I think I would make a good therapist. But I have to save all this for another video. This has to end here. That's where I'm at today. If you want me to keep babbling about this, I'm here for it. But I don't want to hijack you any more than I already have. 20 minutes, that's a pocket ramble for this guy. In the comments below, let me know how you've experienced this in your life, young adult life, later in life. What do you go through as far as your sense of self and your self-esteem? How do you leverage your financial value to your sense of worth? I know I'm confused, right? And I know that I'm well-meaning, and I think I can figure this out. But I know it's a real struggle for me for whatever reason. And I think it probably is for other people too. And the more we talk about it, I think the more solutions we can come up with and the more grace we can show ourselves. Because God knows, I certainly want to just be a grown-up. I hate thinking of myself as struggling to adapt and grow out of some younger me behavior that I really thought alcohol would solve. But I couldn't even look at this if I wasn't sober. So I get that it all needs to go this way. And it humbles me very much. And it makes me want to learn. And it makes me want to listen. And I'm just grateful to have the chance because I'd like to offer up whatever I can to my wife for a good life, at least with financial stability and then emotional stability and all that. As she deserves it, I think I deserve it. And this is just where I'm at. So I hope I expressed that well. This is the most nervous I've felt talking about something in a while because I don't want to be Noah who struggles anymore, even though I know we all struggle in various ways, but that's just where my head goes. It's crazy up here sometimes, but I'm not drinking over it. Not today. No effing chance. Take care of yourselves. Share everything you can. Support me if you're willing. And I'll do my best to support you. Schedule a time to talk with me if you just want to mind meld. It is a paid service, first link in the description, but boy, does it help me financially. And I could use that help for anyone who has the means and wants to talk. I don't take that lightly. And thank you for being here for me. I very much appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video. we'll find a solution, and I'll update you on how I'm trying to go about doing that. Okay.